Hi, welcome to Think Human. I'm Chris, and in this video I want to talk about artificial intelligence and consciousness. So a lot of people who maybe aren't very familiar with the field of AI and how exactly are we building these kind of systems might at first glance think that as soon as we build some kind of a system that is as intelligent as humans, then this system will automatically, immediately become conscious, self-aware, sentient, and able to have free will and do things in the world the same way as we human beings do. But the thing with this is that we can have a system that is very intelligent and does very intelligent actions in the world, but actually inside has no conscious experience. These two things really are not linked with each other necessarily. In us as human beings, it just happens to be that intelligence and consciousness is linked together because, this is a whole another topic, but whatever was necessary, there might be some kind of advantage in evolutionary sense. Or it might be just a consequence of how our brains are built, and maybe there is no benefit in us having conscious experience. I would not agree with that. I think that there is something to it. There is some good reason why we are conscious. Maybe, this drives us to do more complex things in the world, to have aspirations and dreams and things that we want. When something hurts us, when we feel pain, like that really hurts. It's not just like, don't cut your hand. It's like you don't want to cut your hand because it feels bad, and you want to do things that make you feel good because they really do feel good. And that motivates us to, get offspring and have lots of babies and get resources and all that stuff that feels good, and the bad things really feel bad. So in that sense, I guess I would understand how it's beneficial for us to have a consciousness. Machines do not evolve. Machines do not have evolutionary heritage. They don't have this kind of bit by bit building it up. We are building these machines, not natural selection. So this is a completely different mechanism building it. There are a lot of questions about it. It might be. We don't know how consciousness really works in this kind of way. It might be that once we create a truly intelligent system, some kind of information processing just by itself does create conscious experience. It's possible. Or if we create something really similar to a human brain, for example, then it might be that for somehow just out of this pattern of having something like our own neural networks, these things kind of have consciousness in them just by existing in this way. But by principle, there is absolutely no reason why intelligence and consciousness have to be together. Absolutely no reason. We have many intelligent systems in our world that we already have created. It used to be people thought that when the first computer program will beat the human being in chess, then this computer that plays chess is as smart as a human being and having conscious experience. That's the only way people thought that it's possible to beat the human player in chess. And then we did it. We built this program, and then we were like, oh no, it's just numbers, it's just mathematics, it doesn't really think, it doesn't really feel, it's just, doing some equations. And then we get more complicated programs and complicated systems. We have the most complex table game arguably in the world of Go, which has more possible move configurations than we have atoms in the entire universe. Crazy. But still, once we did it, people were like, no, there's nothing in there, there's nothing special about that. So this seems to be a pattern with most of the intelligent systems that we design. I'm not sure when we get to a point when we are like, yeah, this system really is conscious, because we can easily conceive of systems that can beat the Turing test. This kind of test where you basically speak with someone and you don't know if you're speaking to a machine or an actual human being. And then depending on how the conversation goes, you decide if you were talking with a human or not. Was the experience kind of human-like, or do you think it was a machine? This kind of thing we can easily break through. So a Turing test isn't a reliable sort of test of consciousness at all. And once we create truly intelligent machines, would you believe it if an intelligent machine told you that, yes, I am conscious, I do have feelings just like you, and because with other people in the world, we just take their word for it. Like you, for example, like I can look at you and we have a conversation and I'm like, I don't know if you're really conscious. How could I know? How could you know I'm conscious? But I give you the benefit of the doubt because you talk kind of like me and you look kind of like me. I know that I have a consciousness. So I'm like, yeah, fair enough, like you probably do as well. That's how we as humans do. But with machines, there is no physical way to do that, but we can do it mentally. If you really see a machine suffering, if you really see a machine ecstatic, in bliss, happy, inspired, motivated, doing some kind of things like this, then it's possible that, you know, we can say it's conscious, but again, it's not reliable, because how do we know it's a simulation or not? But the important thing to say here is that we can have an incredibly intelligent system, smarter than any human being on the planet, and inside the lights are off, it feels nothing, but it's doing all these things in the world. But inside, no experience at all, just mathematical machine getting things done in the world. How strange is that to think about, that we could create something like that? So important to note that they aren't necessarily hand in hand. All of the intelligent systems that we have built before, we thought that you have to be human level to build them and to have human experience. No, turns out not. No, we have many systems that do things on a superhuman level, much better than humans, but we don't think they have any conscious experience. So I guess the point of this video is that they aren't necessarily connected with each other. We think they are, and we tend to think at first glance that they are, because this is how we are built. But we can't look at things that are completely alien to us and put our own characteristics onto those, because the things we are building are not at all like us human beings. These things are really alien and work in very different methods. So consciousness and intelligence are not correlated with each other. It's a lot of questions about this, like, if we truly create one day these super intelligent machines, like, what a pity it would be if they had no consciousness. How would we know? And if they really didn't, what a waste it would be. Even if they would colonize the entire galaxy or universe, it would still be empty, because there's no experience in the universe anymore. So I guess that's interesting to think about. But yeah, so the point of this video being that consciousness and intelligence are not connected. They're only connected in us, but we can build really intelligent systems, and there is no reason to think that a really intelligent machine actually feels anything inside, because consciousness is not necessary. Consciousness is not the needed key component of doing intelligent things in the world, and this we already know 100%, because we already built systems that do very intelligent things in the world, but they feel nothing. That is not required. Consciousness is not needed for intelligence. So that's the point of this video. So I hope you got some interesting ideas from it. If you have any comments, please leave them down in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, and take care.